Marc Márquez, the warlord of MotoGP. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't a polite legend about a nice kid who grew up to be a champion. This is the story of a man who turned MotoGP into a battleground, ruled it like a warlord, then burned his own empire to the ground so he could build a deadlier one. Marc Márquez doesn't compete in the traditional sense. He hunts, he stalks. He breaks riders the way a street fighter breaks ribs, with intent, calculation, and no apology. And if you think that's hyperbole, you've never seen what happens when he takes a line into a corner that shouldn't exist, forces his bike into physics-defying angles, and dares anyone behind him to follow. If MotoGP is war, Marquez isn't just a soldier. He's the guy who writes the rules of engagement and then throws them in the trash. Chapter 1: The Kingdom He Built, 2013 to 2019. When Marquez entered MotoGP in 2013, he was 20 years old. In the world of top-level racing, that's young enough to still have acne and old enough to destroy people twice your age. He didn't come in to learn the ropes. He came in to tear them down. In his rookie season with Repsol Honda, Marquez did something that should have been impossible. He won the championship. Not squeaked by, not lucked into it because of someone else's crash. He took it. His aggression was surgical. He'd brake later than physics recommended, hang off the bike so far his elbow skimmed the asphalt, and run lines nobody else even considered possible. Over the next 6 years, he turned the championship into a hostage situation. He won titles in 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. 6 and 7 years. When he didn't win in 2015, it was only because he pushed so hard his crash count went into double digits. But here's the thing. Even in failure, Marquez sent a message. If you want to beat me, you're going to have to risk your neck the way I do. Most riders won't. 2019 was peak Marquez. He won 12 races, took 6 second places, and finished every race on the podium except one. 420 championship points, the highest in MotoGP history. He didn't just beat the competition, he made them look like they were riding in slow motion. The Honda RC2130V under him wasn't the friendliest bike on the grid. It was a beast that wanted to kill you if you didn't ride it on the absolute limit. Perfect for him. Marquez didn't want a friendly bike. He wanted a weapon. Chapter 2: The Body Breaker, 2020 to 2021. Here's where most careers would have ended. First race of 2020 at Jerez, Marquez makes an impossible save in turn 3, runs wide, then claws his way back from 16th to 3rd in the space of 10 laps. He's pushing so far past the limit that you can feel the desperation through the TV. Then it happens. High side at 150 kilometers per hour, lands on his arm. Broken humerus. The injury was bad, but the real damage came later. He tried to come back too soon. 3 surgeries in months, nerve complications, nearly a year off the bike. Riders don't come back from that the same, if they come back at all. When he returned in 2021, the Honda wasn't the same. Neither was his arm. But here's where Marquez shows why he's not like the rest. He didn't ride for safe points. He still attacked corners like they owed him money. He still leaned past 60 degrees. He still fought for wins, even with one arm at 80%. And he got them. 3 in 2021, each one a knife to the throat of anyone who thought he was finished. Chapter 3: Caged Lion, 2022-2023. Honda was in free fall. The RC2130V was unrideable unless you were willing to dance with disaster on every lap. Marquez was the only one even remotely competitive on it, and even he was bleeding crashes. The frustration built. Every press conference, you could see it in his eyes. A man who knows his talent is being wasted in a losing battle. But loyalty kept him there. 11 years with Honda, 6 titles, a bond most riders would take to retirement. 2022 was another injury year. Diplopia, double vision from a crash in Indonesia, another surgery, another comeback. But the wins weren't there. Honda couldn't give him the weapon he needed, and Marquez isn't built to ride for 7th place. Chapter 4: The Desertion. Here's the thing. Walking away from €100 million at 31 years old isn't normal. It's career suicide for most. But Marquez didn't care. The decision to leave Honda at the end of 2023 was pure war logic. Stay and fade into obscurity, or walk away from the empire he built and risk everything for a shot at killing again. He chose the second option. The paddock was stunned. Not just that he left, but where he went. Gresini Racing, a satellite Ducati team, 1-year contract, no factory support, no guaranteed title shot. It looked like a downgrade, but Marquez saw something nobody else did. A Ducati Desmosedici GP23 that could corner like a knife and launch like a missile. All he had to do was tame it. Chapter 5, The Guerrilla Campaign, 2024. Gresini wasn't a team built to win championships. It was a tight, family-run outfit. The atmosphere was relaxed, and that's exactly what Marquez needed. After years in the corporate pressure cooker of Repsol Honda, he was breathing again. From the first race, you could see the old speed. Elbows scraping, late braking, dive bombs into corners like he was mugging riders mid-race. He scored 3 wins, a stack of podiums, and finished 3rd in the championship from a satellite seat. That's unheard of in modern MotoGP. But more importantly, he proved to Ducati and to himself that he was still the deadliest rider alive when given a competitive machine. Chapter 6, The Godfather's Call. Ducati isn't stupid. They saw what Marquez did on year-old machinery without full factory support, so when Enea Bastianini didn't deliver in 2024, they made the call. The offer, a factory Ducati seat for 2025 alongside Francesco Pecco Bagnaia, the reigning double world champion. Now Marquez had the GP25, the best bike on the grid, and a factory team behind him. The last time Marquez had the best bike and full support, he rewrote the record books. Chapter 7, The Blood Season, 2025. If 2019 was dominance, 2025 is annihilation. 8 GP wins in the first 12 rounds, 11 sprint wins, a 120-point championship lead. Bagnaia, a 2-time champ, is playing catch-up every weekend. Marquez isn't just winning races, he's dismantling them. His overtakes are psychological warfare. Block passes so tight you can read his tire codes, braking so late that you think he's going to overshoot, then watching him make the apex like nothing happened. Other riders have admitted it. Racing Marquez means riding beyond your limit. That's how he wins half the battle before the flag drops. If you try to match him, you crash. If you don't, you lose. Either way, you're done. Chapter 8, The Marquez Effect. Here's the brutal truth. Marquez doesn't fit in any rider category. He's not Rossi, who built his career on charisma and consistency. He's not Lorenzo, who won through precision and control. He's not Stoner, who relied on raw talent and hated the politics. Marquez is something else, a hybrid of aggression, calculation, and fearlessness that doesn't leave room for anyone else to breathe. He doesn't join leagues, he creates his own. And once you're in his territory, every lap is a survival test. Trying to break his records isn't just hard, it's career suicide. You'd have to ride like he does, which means accepting you will crash harder, injure more often, and possibly never come back. Chapter 9, Legacy of a Warlord. When Marquez finally hangs up the leathers, his legacy won't be measured just in titles, though he'll likely have more than anyone. It will be measured in the number of careers he altered, the number of riders who went home at night knowing they gave their absolute best and still got beaten to the punch. He's not just part of MotoGP history, he's a fault line that split the sport into 2 eras, before Marquez and after. And here's the thing, you can admire him, but breaking him? That's not racing, that's suicide.